sports and entertainment are in a state of complete chaos. Shannon Sharpe, a former NFL player and current media celebrity, is the target of bombshell sexual assault claims that might bring down his meticulously constructed empire. Damning allegations have been exposed in a multi-million-dollar case, igniting a legal conflagration and a cruel struggle for public perception. While Shannon battles for his honor, another controversial character is supposedly sitting on the sidelines and taking it all in. Yeah, I agree with Katt Williams. The accusations against Shannon have Katt's support, and now he's allegedly throwing heavy shade and saying, "I told you so." Shannon is launching a fierce defense against his accuser and her attorney, but is he also embroiled in a covert conflict with the guy responsible for his podcast's meteoric rise to online fame? Katt Williams is apparently savoring the latest twist in the Shannon Sharpe story, so brace yourselves. The bombshell lawsuit, allegations against Shannon Sharpe Jane Doe, a lady, has just sued Shannon Sharpe in the Silver State. The claimant, who was 19 years old when their connection allegedly started in 2023, and the 54-year-old Sharpe are both accused of sexual assault and manipulative behavior in the unsettling file that we have obtained. This fresh objective before him Shannon Sharpe, a football legend. A recent complaint in Nevada asserts that Sharpe was deceitful and eventually posed as a Jane Doe. The most recent allegations reportedly occurred in January. The accuser's youth, more than 10 years younger than Shannon's own children, attracted quick attention. Critics say the age gap sends off strong grooming connotations, even though she was legally an adult. A consensual relationship allegedly took a turn for the worst as Shannon began to act aggressively, threatening and physically abusing her partner, according to the lawsuit. In two different incidents, one in October 2024 and the other in January 2025, the accuser asserts that Shannon attacked her from behind as she begged him to stop. Claims of surreptitiously taping her private moments and then sharing them with friends without her consent are also included in the complaint. Shannon's counter, naming names and leaking texts. These charges were not going to be taken lying down by Shannon Sharpe. From the get-go, he and his legal team rejected the complaint, calling it a shakedown and a dirty money grab. Striking a bold move, Shannon's team identified the accuser as Gabriella Zuniga, better known as She Is Carly on OnlyFans and Instagram. Shannon proceeded to provide sexually explicit text messages that he said Zuniga had sent, using them as proof that their connection had been voluntary and characterized by imaginary situations and role-playing that she had started. "I am going to speak to you all directly from the bottom of my heart. This is a shakedown, and I am going to be honest, open, and defend myself because this isn't right." Tony Busby, who has attacked Jay-Z, is attempting to manipulate the media by releasing a 30-second clip that tries to make me look guilty and plays into every stereotype you can think of. The video should actually be 10 minutes long. "Hey Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole thing out. I don't have it, but I would rather not. You know what happened, and you're trying to manipulate the media." It seems that Gabby, who goes by Carly on OnlyFans, orchestrated the encounter that happened throughout the day at her request. Gabby and Tony Busby are suing me for defamation and attempting to bring me down. My career is built on being honest and open with my family and fans, so they understand exactly what's going on. I will continue to tell you everything I need to say, just like I always have. I love all of you. Reiterating her earlier accusation that Zuniga's lawyer Tony Busby was behind the lawsuit, Shannon now claims that Busby has a history of going after successful black men, citing a case he had handled with Jay-Z. Shannon further said that Busby intended to expose a modified audio tape in order to cast him in a negative light. Although the texts were portrayed as proof of permission, the explicit nature and age gap further confounded public perception because they featured vivid and distressing content, such as references to racial play and particular sexual actions. The $10 million offer and audio leaks, the legal battle escalates. The court fight devolved into a narrative war very fast. In a rebuttal to Shannon's allegations of a shakedown, Tony Busby revealed that, at mediation in early February, Shannon reportedly promised Gabriella Zuniga a huge $10 million payoff in order to stop the lawsuit from being filed. On one hand, Mr. Sharpe and his team are trying to claim that the lawsuit doesn't have any merit. On the other hand, they have admitted that Shannon offered Jane Doe $10 million in writing to discourage her from suing. It's a fact. Gabriella was offered the money, but she decided to reject it and continue with the lawsuit. Why would Shannon give such a money if the case was really without merit, Busby wondered. Additionally, he said that the explicit messages that Shannon had disclosed were irrelevant since they were from a time before the assaults that were alleged in the case. In response to Shannon's accusations, Busby made public an audio tape purportedly showing Shannon threatening to strangle Zuniga. Reportedly, Shannon is heard on another video making a horrible remark about a large black man strangling a petite white woman. It doesn't end there, either. I'm at a loss for words. Every time I try to explain anything, you become angry and then just end the call. I'm not going to end the call either, since I don't want to be the object of your wrath. Lord, have compassion on me. If you try to influence me anymore, I will choke you the next time we meet. The audio tapes showing how Shannon allegedly handled Jane Doe, leading her to escape Nevada, were, according to Busby, disturbing and dangerous, not amusing. He said that Zuniga was being tried by Shannon's side. The money angle, $100 million deal and OnlyFans background. Busby's allegations were rebutted by Shannon's legal team through the introduction of the money angle. They claimed that Gabriela Zuniga's pursuit of a lawsuit was accelerated once she learned about Shannon's upcoming $100 million plus Club Shay Shay podcast media agreement. The legal team representing Shannon claims that Gabriela's efforts to influence Shannon's decision to sign a massive media agreement, a deal rumored to be worth more than $100 million, for his Club Shay Shay podcast intensified once Gabriela learned of the impending arrangement. Just one day before Shannon's huge contract was due to go public, Gabriela filed her complaint. Shannon's lawyer declared it loud and clear, Gabrielle is trying to cash in before Shannon's big windfall. This timing, according to Shannon's lawyer, is the classic definition of blackmail, as Zuniga is trying to have the upper hand before his huge haul. They went so far as to accuse Zuniga of receiving payment for role-playing and virtual fantasy work, and went so far as to accuse him of personally billing Shannon, alluding to the fact that her background casts doubt on her assertions and implies a financial incentive. Truth matters more than a desperate public spin, Busby said, dismissing Ms. Doe's fears and said she is ready to produce evidence in court. Tony Busby's controversial history. Tony Busby's background adds another level of intricacy to the shakedown storyline. Shannon brought up the fact that Busby was the attorney in a high-profile case involving Jay-Z in the past. Truthfully, Busby's reputation is far from spotless either. Last year, he was the lawyer who sued Jay-Z, accusing the rapper of assaulting a 13-year-old at an afterparty following the 2000 VMAs. Despite all the drama, Tony Busby's lawsuit against Jay-Z was eventually dropped and dismissed. In the end, the judge rejected the case against Jay-Z. Additionally, it was stated that another Jane Doe came forward, asserting that Busby had deceived her. After that, Jay-Z countersued Busby for extortion and slander. Attempting to run extortion plays seems to be Busby's usual side job now, leading some fans to look him with distrust because of his background. Public opinion divided, suspicion on all sides. Many people have different opinions because to the contradictory assertions, leaked messages and audio snippets, and dubious histories. Some people are wary of Gabriela Zuniga because of her history with OnlyFans and the sexual texts that Shannon leaked. Because of the charges leveled against him and the outcome of the Jay-Z case, some people view Tony Busby with suspicion. Many, meanwhile, continue to hold the belief that Zuniga's accusations may be true, pointing to Shannon's well-known reputation for being freaky behind closed doors. With conflicting claims, leaked texts, audio clips, and questionable histories, public opinion is divided. Some are skeptical of Gabriela Zuniga due to her OnlyFans background and Shannon's explicit texts. Others are suspicious of Tony Busby due to the Jay-Z case and his accusations. However, many still believe Zuniga's claims, citing Shannon's freaky behind-the-scenes reputation. The public is forced to sort through a confusing scenario, attempting to separate fact from fiction, as the legal dispute continues. Katt Williams, the ultimate "I told you so"? Katt Williams' name continues coming up in internet discussions among all this mayhem. According to what we know from the sources, Katt is supposedly enjoying the time of his life watching Shannon's downfall. This seems to have its origins in the tangled aftermath of their record-breaking interview at Club Shay Shay, so it's not just some random celebrity drama. Original clip, while the fans argue over who's guilty and who's pretending, you know who's apparently enjoying the time of his life watching Shannon's demise. Katt Williams. The transcript suggests that Katt and Shannon have been secretly feuding for some time, maybe beginning with that now viral interview. Katt took heat from fellow performers, especially comedians, and Shannon allegedly felt his act became a full-blown circus as a result of the interview, which still generated a lot of buzz and views. Further criticism came from Dave Chappelle, who said that Katt and Shannon were attempting to tear down the lives of other black men just for some clout by spreading their dirty laundry. Dave Chappelle, one among the first big stars to criticize them, remarked, "What part of the game is this?" He lambasted Katt for attacking his people, claiming, "He ain't say a thing about any of those white boys. None of those white boys move like that." Dave even called Katt one of the finest painters in the game, but then said, "So why you out here painting ugly pictures of us?" In his words, hurt people, but I'm a hurt person that never hurt people." He even accused Katt and Shannon of trying to destroy other black men for power. Dave Chappelle got personal, saying, "If I told my story, it would break your heart. I lost everything and never told anyone." Now here's Katt acting like he's the truth police. At first, the criticism was directed on Katt, but after Monique's interview on Club, reports indicate that Shay Shay caused people to view Shannon in a negative light, since he was seen as the unifying factor when discussing sensitive issues. Shannon reportedly attempted to shift blame by throwing Katt under the bus, saying he was only allowing Katt to speak and was not responsible for what she said. The vibe of Shannon's program was allegedly ruined and he lost out on big possibilities because of Katt's tantrum. He claims Katt is to blame for messing up the bag because he thinks Katt's reaction cost him big chances and ruined the mood he was trying to create for Club Shay Shay. It appears that Katt's present attitude to Shannon's legal difficulties is framed by this apparent blame game and the tension it causes between them. Rumor has it that Katt, who is notoriously vengeful and has a photographic memory, is seeing Shannon's demise and apparently feels justified. Shannon fires back. And the silent beef in the midst of Shannon's public firing back against Tony Busby and the lawsuit, which he portrays as an attempt to defend his name, the screenplay implies that Katt Williams is also quietly firing back in a roundabout way. The separation was caused by Shannon's purported irritation with the Club Shay Shay split and his efforts to separate himself from Katt's provocative remarks. Katt didn't like how Shannon put him under the bus and that produced some significant tension between them, and you could sense the atmosphere was wrong after that. Katt Williams is allegedly standing by indifferently as Shannon deals with what might be his greatest professional crisis to date. This could be because Katt subtly warned Shannon about his associations and lifestyle choices, or because the negative vibes that followed their interview contributed to Shannon's current situation. Everybody knows that Mr. Katt Williams has an amazing memory. He doesn't forget anything, especially when he feels cheated. Now that Shannon Sharpe is facing new, hurtful accusations, Katt is just watching it all happen and trust me, he's not crying a single tear. Shannon is incredibly shallow, but if you listen closely, you can almost hear Katt telling Shannon, "You have to tell him no, you have to tell him no." Based on what Katt says in the transcript, Shannon's supposed reaction wasn't just clowning, rather, it may have been a reaction to feeling played by her after the interview, especially because the details of the current accusations match what Katt knows about Shannon's personal life. Shannon is intent on fighting the case, but his complicated connection with Katt Williams casts a shadow over his battle and rumors of hostility behind the scenes add drama to an already public battle. In the midst of a perilous legal struggle, Shannon Sharpe must contend with the public spectacle of leaked texts and audio snippets while protecting his reputation from charges of manipulation and alleged violence. While the accuser's camp emphasizes a $10 million settlement offer as possible proof of guilt, his legal team emphasizes extortion and an attorney with dubious past. Katt Williams's purported delight in Shannon's plight appears to be connected to the unresolved tension stemming from their now viral interview and the aftermath, which is adding fuel to the fire. Is someone trying to get a run-in with Shannon Sharpe? Alternately, are these the results of carelessness and bad habits? Is Katt Williams just seeing karma play out, or is there some hidden animosity at work? In this potentially volatile situation, what are your thoughts? Is Katt Williams' purported sense of vindication justified, or is there more to this than meets the eye? Leave a comment with your ideas. Let's try to reach 3,000 comments and start a discussion. Please like, subscribe, share, and ring the bell to ensure that you do not miss our next upload if you would want to be updated on this story's progress as well as more in-depth analyses of Hollywood's most prominent news. We will continue to analyze every turn of events as they unfold in this ongoing tale. All eyes are on you now. Catch you later.